and welcome back to another episode of NFTs with Keys. I am your host, Keys, and this is Rick. Anyways, for today, we're gonna it's kind of, I guess, a sad day, really, because the crypto crash is still happening, and that means NFTs are still crashing. Um, yeah, I mean, everything's crashing, so don't feel bad. I mean, yeah, so don't feel bad. But today we're gonna talk about Azukis or Azuki. They're doing a little bounce back. Is it good or is it bad? Morgan Stanley. They are not. They're basically saying this is not good signs for us NFT fans. Also, too, the CEO and founder of the Drop says NFT projects are getting obliterated in a interview. We're going to kind of look over what he said and kind of discuss that a little bit. Also, too, we have some funny Seth Green news to kind of lighten the mood up before we let you go. But let's start with this Azuki stuff. So, as we know, the crypto crash of 2022 is still happening. Basically,
You say
everything's
crypto crash, I say buy.
yeah, it's true. And that's kind of how it is. I mean, when it comes to crypto, not so much when it comes to NFTs because these projects will liquidate real quick and there's no coming back. Not everything, it's rare when you see a Terra situation. Sort of rare. Not really, but in NFTs, you see that happening like on a weekly, daily basis. So, but as the crash is happening, we also do know blue chip NFT projects, like last week we discussed, are still doing well. But as we pointed out last week, Azukis were floundering. They're basically at the bottom of the list of the top 7 NFT projects. And then they bounced back by 225% in sales volume. Which at first it seems like, oh, that's cool, like they're doing well. And it's like, nah, well, it really comes both as good and bad news. Like, good news, yes, because people like, I mean, I wish I had more ETH so I could get into that project. But yeah, like people like that want to get into the project are getting into the project. So you basically getting rid of, the paper hands, the people who don't believe in it, or the people who just needed to sell. But it's also a bad thing because that means people are selling. So you're losing, it's kind of a double-edged sword, when it comes to all that. So, and also too, part of that is one of the co-founders. He admitted that he was behind several other NFT projects that happened to be what we all consider rug pulls. I don't want to, kind of like on like some news stations, they tell you what the rug pulls are, and I don't want to give these people hype. I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to mention their projects. Kind of like a mass shooter situation. I don't want to do it. I don't want to talk. I don't want to give them any kind of like clout. But some of these projects to me didn't really look like rug pulls because if you kind of looked deeper into them, you knew that they were just trying to make some money. So I mean, you either like the art or you don't. You know what I mean? But that's also that's really why what ended up happening. That's why you saw a bunch of sales, and so the sale volume uh, blasted off. So like I said, it's a good and bad thing. Um, I'm not sure uh, what this is going to do for them in the long run, considering this is considered a blue chip NFT project. So I mean, we could see um, more, like I said, getting rid of the paper hands, getting more diamond hand people in there, and that could be great for the project. So this sales boosting them from like 7th place to number 1 in a matter of a week, all because of some information that found out. So I mean, who knows? I think it's a good I think it's a good thing to get paper hand people out because those are the people who were in it for the money. They're the famous people or the rich people or like the people, the crypto whales that are like, oh, I don't want to lose my money. I'm losing money on this project instead of the people who are there believing in the vision and believing in the art.
And I think we can all be honest here with ourselves too, that like at the end of the day, price drops like this, it's also going to start weeding out some of these projects that are for better or worse, like just not really projects at all. Like you said, Keith, blatant money grabs that can now go, and it'll clear the way for real legitimate use cases. And what I'm hoping will happen here as well, now that this kind of like burns out some of the weeds and leaves some of the good behind, is maybe some more development can come in the NFT front. now that everyone's stopping talking about, hey, let's sell our Beanie Baby NFTs. Let's do something real with it. But you know me, I'm kind of biased with it.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've heard of in the last week. I've heard so many people refer to NFTs as Beanie Babies. It's mind-boggling. You're like the 2000th person to say that to me, or at least say it in front of me. It's kind
Wow.
of crazy, but I mean, it makes sense, especially when you look at NFTs as some of these, like you said, some of these smaller projects. They're not that big. They're just money grabs. I mean, I know personally, I've been caught up in a rug pull. It sucks. You just kind of have to just throw your hands up and say, F it, and just keep riding, and just, you have a crappy NFT in your wallet, like whatever. You're like,
You were supposed to be the hero, Megaverse. You were supposed to be the hero.
hey, I need to check on Metaverse. Are they doing okay? Because if not, it's time to buy.
Right. Gonna see the keys and must be a proud operator here.
Yeah, right. Exactly. But yeah, so moving on. So Morgan Stanley warns that NFTs may be next in the crypto crash. I clearly Morgan Stanley doesn't look at NFTs, or they would have been noticing that they're
Right.
crashing as like we speak. But yeah, Morgan
Mm-hmm.
Stanley says investors in NFTs should be on alert as they could be next during the fall, especially during this super bear market. I mean, pretty much like a few months, maybe out from possible recession in the United States. So who knows what ends up happening there. But a report issued last week noted that a steep declines in Bitcoin and Ethereum and other tokens was not tied to the decline in equity markets. Instead, wrote analyst Sheena Shah that high prices were due to investors' speculation with limited real user demand. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I at the same time, it's like real user demand. I mean, you got to think how many of these active wallets aren't active anymore. We've seen a drop off in in the millions, I think, because I think there was like 100 and something million active users last year at the peak, and now we're down to like 9 million active users. So, but that doesn't mean that these people are gone. This just means that people are holding on to their stuff. They're not actively buying things. You also got to think people, have been rocked with inflation throughout the global inflation. I mean, gas prices in the United States now all across the board is $4 or more. Here in California, we're looking close to $7. So it's just like, I think that's what's ends up happening there with that. So I do kind of like I agree that the limited real user demand isn't there anymore. But both NFTs and digital real estate in the metaverse have just been as vulnerable to the speculation. Obviously, the NFT market had a rough start this year. Total NFT transaction activity went from 3.9 billion to 964 million, those in U.S. dollars, between mid-February to mid-March, according to a May report from Chain Analysis. But even as the crash is happening, like we have said, we're still seeing Moonbirds and other deeds climb the ladder among other projects like Azuki and Bored Apes and Mutant Apes. They're still doing fine. Um, uh, yeah, so DAP Radar has also said that NFTs look to be entering perhaps one of many maturity stages, which is which they basically expect that this is normal and this is just part of development in technology, which it really is. I mean, so it's just kind of like you kind of hinted to it. It's weeding out the BS, the bad projects. And also too, both me and you, Rick, we're strong proponents of seeing NFTs as something else, not just
Yep.
art or moving pictures or gifs, or gifs or whatever. We want to see them used. Like we were excited when we saw that house being sold
Right.
as a deed. Like that's exciting that NFTs are being. I mean, let alone you're buying a company, but like let's not get too much in the weeds of that one. But like, you know what I mean.
Right.
So
Yeah.
Saw also said that Morgan Stanley was taken by surprise by the collapse of the Terra USD stablecoin. Noting that it has resulted in a broader reevaluation of where many crypto
Mm-hmm.
prices should be trading at. So
I'll give you that.
that also shakes up the NFT market as well. Believe it or not, that really does. when a stable coin falls, it kind of seems like it's not a big deal, especially to NFT people, but it does shake up the pricing of how much is something worth.
That's absolutely correct, and because it comes down to you can't trust a stable coin, can you trust?
Bitcoin?
Hey man, I know some solid stable coins that I won't mention here. I'll let their work do the talking for me, right? But I have a feeling that we're going to see a certain crypto take off once some bridges are made and people can sell their NFTs on that market and make money. Because like when the stable coin's gone, how do you reliably start to day trade this stuff or liquidate something without actually turning it into fiat just yet? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, these are some real implications here. And what's this do to the DeFi market?
Yeah, I
It's
mean
all good.
it'll be interesting to see what happens with all that. But at the end of the day, we don't know who's going to come out. I mean, that coin you talked about, for all we know, could liquidate. I mean, for all we know, everything
Good.
but Bitcoin will could liquidate, which would be insane. I don't think that's going to happen, but we don't know what's going to
Ugh.
happen. Just kind of like we don't really know how the NFT crash is going to continue going on. For all we know, Bored Apes will fail tomorrow. Like
So it's the ebb and flow, and when I say ebb and flow, I mean everything but Bitcoin and flow.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah, exactly. But yeah, so anyways, let's move on from that. The Drop CEO and founder Gannon Breslin joined Yahoo Finance live to discuss the state of NFTs, the crypto crash, Bitcoin dropping below 30,000, and the outlook of digital assets or in digital artists. He was presented with a question, basically asking NFT sales fell to about 25,000 last week, an 80% drop from the peak last fall. Breslin responded saying, "No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't think numbers look. I don't think numbers look get anywhere like that. You know, we're seeing the S&P 500 down 14% over the last 6 months. The Nasdaq's down 30% the past 6 months. Interest rates are up. We're seeing in the market right now with NFTs is all of these small projects, ones that don't have any or don't have a very strong roadmap, and I would say direction, just completely get obliterated. Which, yeah, there's nothing really to say there, but he's speaking facts. I mean, I've been a strong proponent of look at the roadmap. That's why I like the Hearts Project. About all that stuff. That's a big community. They're like sure their roadmap is a little shaky, but that if that community holds strong, then their roadmap can keep evolving and updating. Bored Apes have a pretty strong roadmap. Mechaverse has a pretty strong roadmap. It
Yeah.
just like so all these projects that it kind of comes down to the community too. But any project that just has a really shaky roadmap where it's like, oh, we're gonna make sneakers and we're gonna do this and we're gonna make leather jackets and we're gonna start being like gangs like it's West Side Story or some shit like that. It's like no, like that's really shaky and that's gonna fail. So yeah, I mean, like we've been saying this pretty much since the start of
Yep.
this show. It's clear who has the clear vision and who has the strong community. Get those diamond hands. They will survive. He also said, we're seeing halfway through May right now. We're still at the same volume, even though we're halfway through May as November of this past year. So even though we are in a crash, we're still seeing the same volume amount
Yep.
of the NFTs and just kind of the market. I don't know too much about the crypto market like that, but at least in NFTs, we're seeing the same volume that we saw back in November before the crash really started. So that's actually a good thing. It just the value of your NFT or your crypto at this moment isn't holding up to what it was back in November. Bitcoin was
Let's
over.
just say Daddy can get into Axie Infinity now. I'm coming for you.
Yeah, exactly.
You.
I mean, what Ethereum I think is sub for sure sub 2,000. It might even be below like 13 or 15. Like if it gets to that, that's a buying spree for everyone who has the money. But the thing is, the reason it's like all this crypto or these NFTs are dropping like that. That's because people are selling off. It's kind of like the stock market's tanking too.
They're listening to us, Keys. They're listening to us. The crypto market's all green right now. It just keeps rising.
There you go. There you go. That's what we need.
You're welcome. You're welcome, guys.
Yeah, right.
You're welcome.
But
Correlate the time of this show with the crypto rise, and you'll see NFTs with keys. We're on your side. We do it for you. Tune in every Thursday.
yeah, exactly. Tune in. But yeah, so it's like this crash. It seems like a bad thing, but we're still seeing some strength in the NFT community. I think that's essentially what his point in that was. You can also go check out the rest of that interview. That's kind of like the first part of it. He was asked a few questions, and then it kind of went dwell, delve deeper into like crypto stuff. That's not really my like forte. I'd be more of like the Crypto Bytes podcast that we have on the channel as well. They would probably be more the ones to talk about something like that. But yeah, it's understandable why people have to bow out of these projects or even sell their coins. I mean, financial concerns are a big one. Everything's costing more. I mean, I went to the grocery store last week and it cost me $60. Now it's costing me 90, and next week it'll probably be 120 for the same goods. That's just what it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll have you know, it's gotten so bad here that your boy had to lose like over 100 pounds in order to survive in this world. Like, it sucks. It sucks.
That's a lie.
Can't get food no more.
That's a lie.
Can't get food no more.
You just
I'm
didn't.
over here starving myself in the corner.
You just didn't want to be fat anymore. Don't stop lying. Stop lying.
That's definitely true.
Yeah.
Here's some advice for you guys. Financial advice. It's expensive to be really fat.
Yeah.
See these office chairs? I used to break them just by sitting in them on accident. Things ain't cheap. Things ain't cheap.
Yeah. So I mean, viewers, don't listen to him, but also listen to him.
No. Yeah,
don't listen to him saying he starved himself because of this crash. No, he's been losing weight because he wants to lose weight. He wants to be healthier, But listen to him when he says being fat is expensive. It really is, and it's a very unhealthy thing. So yeah, just I'm glad you kind of lightened it up, because also this is probably the funniest thing I've read all week. In light of all like the bad stuff in the market. I mean, my stocks, my IRA is dropping, everything's dropping. My investments, basically across the board are dropping. But Seth Green just lost a Bored Ape.
A great ape escape, huh?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh man!
And it was all due to a phishing scam, and I feel like he should have known that this was a scam. So basically, what Seth Green did is he wanted to go buy an NFT called Gutter Clone, which is a spin-off of the collection called Gutter Cats. That should have been the first sign not to do it. But he connected his wallet to the site, which ended up being a scam website. He said, quote unquote, phishing link looked clean. But he didn't just lose a Bored Ape. He lost, along with the Bored Ape, he lost 2 mutant apes and a Doodles NFT. But actually, what the biggest and the funniest thing too is he sent out a tweet saying like, "Oh, I'm still trying to work through this. No one, buy my NFTs because you know what his ones are because he's posted them.
Right.
But someone
please buy them and give them back.
Yeah, exactly. Someone actually bought his Bored Ape for $268,000, or I think about 139 ETH, probably more now since the market's starting to go up a little bit. But as of like last night, I did the math. It's about 139 ETH that someone spent for Seth Green's Bored Ape, which is just hilarious because he's going to hold on to it until the market recovers, and then he's going to sell it back to him for like 200 ETH. At least I would if that was me. I would totally do that.
We got in the chat here. These people don't know about hot and cold wallets.
Yeah, seriously.
Facepalm.
Seriously. But yeah, I think that's about all I have for today. I don't know. Go follow me on Twitter at NFTs with Keys. Again, I've just been dealing with a lot, so I haven't been really posting too much. I always say good morning to all you because everyone needs a good morning. Also, to go follow my buddies at Our Heroes Crypto. That's the name of the account, our channel, but that's also run by our boy Rob. So go check that out. You cannot find Rick on any social because he doesn't believe in it. It's like, yeah, I'm not even gonna say these jokes. I'm in a morbid mood right now. But yeah, so we love you. Thank you for everybody for tuning in weekly to not just my show, but also to the Crypto Bytes show. Thank you to all the subscribers. The biggest thing you guys can do for us though is like and share this. Sharing is caring, and sharing actually does a lot for the algorithms right now. It probably does the most out of all of the things you can do. Ringing the bell does help too, but like just tuning in weekly, man. That's all we want from you. Um,
That's right.
so yeah, as normal, per usual, let's get that plug
Oh,
going.
oh. As per usual, you mean oh, oh, I didn't see you there. So I hear you might have some ADA in your wallet, huh? Why don't you think about staking that with AGC for a low saturated stake pool? And that means when we mint the block, you get the maximum amount of rewards. But that's none of my business. Now, as a
That was good.
ticker AGC.
Oh man, that was good. Also, too, a good time for this too. If you haven't used Swan Bitcoin, go check out Swan Bitcoin backslash or swanbitcoin.com backslash AGC for free $10 for just signing up. Hey, that $10 now, if you get it under 30K, next year, yeah, it'll be $20 because it'll probably double at
Oh,
least. So
next year we're part of this video.
yeah,
Could have gotten it at
so
hey guys, but hey, here
yeah, exactly. So again, thank you for everybody tuning in. We love you. Deuces.